Well, here we are, another episode of Mr. Big Mouth. We've got a fantastic guest today. All right, her name is Melanie Struble, and she owns the Center for Mind Body Balance in Saddlebrook.
Saddle River.
Saddle River.
Saddle River.
Brook River, Jersey.
Saddle something.
Saddle something. Saddle
Right.
River. Saddle River. All right, but tell everybody what you do.
What do? So I'm a therapist. That's what I've been doing for 34 years or something crazy like that. Traditional psychotherapy, all different kinds of areas like substance addiction, eating disorders, a lot of work with adolescents, women's issues. And about 9 years ago, actually next month, I opened up the Center for Mind Body Balance to help people get exposed to all different kinds of practices and services. Things like Reiki and somatic yoga and breathwork and nutrition and sound healing and all these different practices that help people kind of feel good about themselves and come back home to themselves. I didn't think that we were doing a really good job in our society of having people get exposed to those kinds of practices. And, you just never know what the inroad is going to be to feel better and to find peace.
What made you bring it into, now she has this beautiful location,
Yeah,
right?
beautiful.
Right, and you got different rooms for different
Yes.
things that you're doing, classes and so forth.
Yep.
What brought that about? Like, what did you say? All right, I want to create basically a community center for
exactly.
health
It's
and
exactly
wellness.
what it is. It's exactly
right?
what it is.
How'd that?
Kind of twofold. One was along my career, there was an agency that I worked for, and it was an old Victorian house. And they did sort of the same thing in that they took all of the rooms and they made them into therapy rooms. But when you walked in the door, you were coming back home.
Yeah.
It like literally was walking into a room in your house, and there was peace and comfort in that. And so when kind of looking around, I wanted that same sort of a vibe and feel. I didn't want it to be institutional, and I didn't
Sure.
want it to be cold. And I wanted it to I think people heal when they're most relaxed.
I agree.
And,
Yeah, and that interaction, that human interaction is
Totally.
everything. I know we've been, the last 20 years have been this kind of suck into the matrix,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And it has really, not to get too deep into it, but it has really messed with people's minds in
100%.
a thousand different ways, right?
100%.
Self-confidence and narcissism
Yep.
and all that goes with
Yep.
that. And I noticed one thing here at Big Mouth Studio, and you've seen how we are, it's kind of like a little community center.
Yeah,
People are yearning for that.
for sure.
They love that. They want that. And that's why I wanted to have you on the show and expose everyone to let them know that there's a place like this exists.
Yeah.
So typically, somebody comes to your place, like how do you engage them? Like how do you let them know, hey, I'm here for X, Y, and Z, all these wonderful services that you provide. How do you get out to them?
For me, I even grew up in my own family in like very mom and pop kind of things. My parents had stores, community store, local. They had a store in Hackensack for a long, long, long time, and they were known as, the people in the town that everybody could rely on and count on. They had a beautiful candy store, and that was important to me, and that's how I grew up learning that people deserve, I guess, is the best way to put it, to have their hand held, to be supported, to not just be a number, but to be a person. And so every single call that ever comes through comes to me directly. And I will spend time on the phone. We'll talk about, what's going on, what different services might be the most beneficial, things they've heard of and tried, or things they haven't tried or haven't heard of. And then the other part is that once they get connected to any of the other practitioners or services, I'm still in the loop. We still check in, make sure, see how it's going. Everybody on staff works, collectively with one another, and we're a team, and we really put together a tribe for people so that they're not just a number. They're not just the next person walking through the door, but they're that person walking through the door.
That is so true what you say, that you're connected, that you're in the middle of
100%.
everything, because that matters.
Yeah.
That there is nothing like knowing your name and who you are and your birthday and what's going on in your life. That enhances the experience, and that's kind of lost these days. I'm not going to lie.
100%.
Right? You're out there, people don't know who you are. Like, it's funny. One of my best, the guy on the corner, the guy I buy my soda from and my chips from, and everybody, we know each other. That's a great feeling.
100%.
Little things like that throughout the day, and that's what you bring in your facility.
Exactly right.
You come in, and I love that you built it in a home, because it is a home-based business.
It is a home.
It is a home, and it's
100% it is.
warm. So what kind of services do you provide? Like, can people, come and use?
Okay. Well, so the premise, even before I answer that part, the premise was that I thought at either higher levels of care
Okay.
or at, sort of elite kind of places. You would go off to a retreat, or something like that. You would get exposed to all these different practices, and people would, kind of really get excited by them or really tap into the benefits of them. And I wanted people to be able to do that in their own lives, in their own day, right? Not having to go somewhere, travel somewhere, or, worst case scenario, be at a higher level of care to first access things like that. So I wanted everybody in the community to have access to art therapy and to sound healing, to breath work, to Reiki, to Ayurveda, to sister science, to yoga. It works with foods and spices.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Look
pretty
at that.
cool.
I just learned that one. I didn't
Right?
even know that existed.
At all. And most people don't. There's things that we do that people
Yeah.
have no idea. We do something called forest bathing. You go out into nature, and it's a meditative practice of reconnecting to really our home base of nature.
Yeah. It's
And
lost a lot.
It's lost. I mean, we've built all these structures around us, these walls. This isn't natural, right?
Yeah.
Our natural environment is to be outside. We do mindfulness and meditation. We do somatic yoga. We do traditional psychotherapy. I mean, how can I forget what I do, right?
Yeah.
But in all different specific areas. We're not general. Each practitioner has been doing this for 25, 30, 35, years.
So the classes that you have for each one of these practices, what's the size generally? Are they one-on-one,
One-on-one.
groups, one-on-one?
Yeah.
So
For
it's
the
a
most part, things are one-on-one. We do have some classes and some programs that we offer and specials and pop-ups and things like that. But the crux of what we do is really one-on-one so that people can work on what's going on for them. What's happening emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually.
What do you see when people come in these days in the last 5 years or so?
Yeah.
What are people really dealing with? Like, is there a common thread? Is it nerves? Is it anxiousness? What do you see out? What are?
There is. I mean, there's been a huge wave in anxiety,
Sure.
in depression, in isolation, in an unknowingness of what to do next, sort of that stuck and stagnant feeling.
Yeah.
So much grief and loss in so many ways. And, what we help people understand is that grief and loss isn't just death of somebody that we care for or love, but it's grief of losing a job,
Yeah.
right? Losing our home. A sense of like what's going on around us. That disillusionment of, right? Or that, it used to be better when, kind of like people are in pain. People are hurting.
Yeah.
So we see so much of that. We certainly, since COVID, have seen an increase in disordered
I was
eating.
just about to say that.
Yeah.
That must have really amplified it.
100%.
Yeah.
People really, really suffering with disordered eating and eating disorder and suffering alone with it.
Yeah.
So we're a space for that. We have seasoned holistic health coaches and registered dietitians who specialize in eating disorders and disordered eating. Myself as a therapist, it's one of the areas that I focus on as well. So people who really are skilled and knowledgeable and passionate.
Why is that? And I don't think I have a disorder, but I know I lean on food.
Yeah, 100%.
Why do we do that?
Yeah.
Why do we lean on food like that when we're stressing and we're hurting? Oh, let me have that apple pie, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Why does that happen?
I think part of it is we're not moving like we used to. We're not outside like we used to. We're much more constricted to our environments. Or we're tired, right? We're outside working or doing all day, and then we come home, but we stay home.
Yeah.
And I think that, it's accessible, right?
Sure.
We also are staying up later. We have lights that go on until all hours of the night until we turn it off. We have TV that never stops.
And not just TV, the phone, the
phone,
devices, all of it. Yeah,
I could be on 24/7. I mean, I remember I'm not, 125 years old, but when I was a kid, I had to literally get up, walk across the room, turn the channel,
Yeah.
and at some point in the night, I don't remember exactly what it was, 11 o'clock maybe, it all went fuzzy.
Yeah, they
We're
shut it down.
done. Yeah,
we're done. Day's over.
The day's over. And I know even like my dad, who grew up in Brooklyn, he would tell a story in that there was a hardware store,
Okay.
like a local hardware store on their street, and they had a television in the window. It was a huge deal back then. My dad was born in 1939. And at night, all of the people in the neighborhood would come and bring their folding chairs, all ages. They would sit in front of the storefront, watch the television, all together in community, and then it went off. And they all chatted, hung out, and then they went back home. And so that sense of camaraderie, of being together, of talking about working on things together, that sense of being in it together is lost, I think, big time.
And that's why I wanted to have you on, because I know it sounds like a cliche, but it's true. Everything goes in cycles.
Yeah.
And the last 20 years was internet. Wow. And it is amazing technology.
Totally.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not
100%.
knocking it. I've made a living off of it. I'm not going to lie. But that said, and then you throw COVID in the mix,
Yep.
people are really, and what's really crazy about it too is that the younger generation,
Yeah.
the Gen Z, a lot of Gen Z creators come through here, early 20s, mid 20s. And the conversations I have with them is they love this and what you're doing, things like what you're doing. They want to connect.
They do.
They don't use the phones like millennials or even Gen Xers like myself.
Yeah.
You know, we came up with, oh, wow, new technology. That was that. Oh, you grabbed onto it. But the new gen that were born with computers and stuff like that, they're like, yeah, we use it. Yes, but no, they like actually. And that's an amazing thing. And so at your place, you know, it is all about community. Yeah. Do you host events
Yes.
for, like, you know, the neighborhood, the community to come in? Yeah,
we
okay.
do. We absolutely do. We work with nonprofit organizations and bring things in. We do things like Girl Scout programming. We do, things just in the community, for the community. What's also kind of neat by us is that there's about 20 of us on staff.
Okay.
And the more creative we can get, or the more creative that somebody can come to us to put together a program about, that like lights us up like crazy, So getting super creative.
So hold on, like you have people come to you and pitch ideas to use
or that we put together a program for them.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's so many different ways to come to us. So one is individually just coming in for your own self or for your family or your family member. The other is partaking in one of our services or programs or special events that we're doing. Another is you can be an organization, you can be a corporation, and ask us to come in and teach different types of practices, or bring your practice, your facility, your employees, whatever it be, to us, and we'll do the same thing. And we'll put together an afternoon of mindfulness and meditation and somatic yoga and sound healing, sort of a...
You said that before. What is sound healing?
Okay. So sound healing is super cool. So there's bowls, different types of bowls, and there's different types that they utilize, made of different materials, and they will play the bowls,
like the edges
of the balls, and they make the most unbelievable sounds that vibrate in different ways in your body. And it's extremely relaxing. Some practitioners, there's a practice where they actually put the ball on you, so that literally
you can feel it.
Yes, and your whole body is just lighting up and relaxing at the same time.
Amazing.
We do a sound healing once a month, a group sound healing once a month. We do private sessions for that. I mean, the trick, I think, and the key that makes us really unique, again, is that there's so many different kinds of services because we don't know what's going to resonate. Yeah. Some people, their body, their system really connects with sound as a way to calm anxiety or fears or worry or take a breath. Other people are more charged up by breath work. And that really resonates for them. Some people, traditional therapy, that's their jam.
They just need to get it off their chest.
Yeah.
Just talk.
And you never know, what that road is. Like, I know for me, I've been practicing yoga for over 25 years. And the only reason that I know that I love it so much and got on that train was because I had a friend who was kind of as adventurous as I was. And I said to him one day, hey, you want to go try yoga? Yeah. And he's like, sure, all right, whatever, kind of thing. And we drove about 45 minutes or an hour because there weren't yoga studios around like there are now. And I walked out of there and I went, holy cow. Yeah. This is something.
It triggered something. Yeah.
And I didn't know that 5 minutes before I walked in there.
Yeah.
So I wanted people to have an opportunity, I guess is the biggest thing, to try out these different services.
So you had mentioned before we came on that you were in India.
Yeah.
And you've been there before, so you kind of is there. So what is the draw to India for what you do?
Everything. Literally everything.
She lights up when she talks about it. That's why I wanted to bring it up.
Oh my God, India is incredible. And it's interesting that you're bringing this up and we're talking about it because we're expanding at the center. Okay. And we're about to embark on offering more spirituality-based types of programs, workshops, classes, discussion groups, those kinds of things. That's in the very near future. We're sort of like fine-tuning it before we launch it. But one of the things that India has that I think we're really, as a community and society, missing is that not only that connection, not only that community, but a pause and a devotion and a calm in every day of everything. Like, I'm wowed by the fact that here we'll do things like, I'm taking a day off tomorrow. I need a mental health day.
Yeah.
I need a me day.
Yeah.
And it's like we save it all up.
And try to get it all out in one day.
In one day.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to go here and I'm going to go here. And now I'm running like crazy.
Yeah,
I'm
not
not
just errand day.
Right.
Yeah.
It's in their day. It's in their life. It's in their everything. They wake up and like the sun is shining.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And not miss that the sun is shining. Or we went to very sacred bodies of water where there's such great reverence and devotion for this body of water.
Yeah.
Here we're like, go run to the Jersey Shore, pay $1 million for your house, do like, oh my God, right? And they're just like in awe of what is.
Yeah. It's funny. In this area, the New York, New Jersey metro area, we're crazy. Let's be honest. We are just 100%. Nuts. We can't slow down. We can't stop. 100%. It's funny how you say appreciate things. Here's a simple thing for me. I came up flying in airplanes. And as a kid, everyone used to clap when you landed. Yep. I still do that because to me, I was 30,000 feet in the air like 10 minutes ago, and now we're on the ground. That's a little example of how they appreciate things. 100%. You understand? Like, and 100%. You're talking about from nature, but I'm talking about everything that goes on around you. Like, it's just amazing. And people don't take time to really like, They look at you. It's New Jersey. It's New York. Shut up. Come on. I got to get to work. Yeah.
It's interesting you're saying that too. So, things that you've seen on TV or movies or heard about or what have you, India's busy, right? Yeah. Super busy. There's a lot of people and a lot of action happening all the time. And one of the things that doesn't stop is the honking of the horns. Everybody's honking horns. There's so many cars, and in the middle of that, there's a cow walking down the street, right? Or a dog walking, and things stop because they're revered. Right?
Yeah, sure.
But the honking is the thing that we were talking about so much, both last time and this time. Differently, I grew up here too, right? And honking is get out of my way, you're in my way, you're stopping me, you're slowing me down, you're making my life harder, whatever it be. And they're honking to say, I'm on your right.
Yeah.
I'm around you, caution, I'm here. And it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It's right, because the number of people, it's constant. But it doesn't have that edge.
Aggressiveness.
Yeah.
Like, get the hell out of the way.
Exactly.
Amazing how different it is, right?
So
Culture. And it's great that you go there and you kind of absorb it and then reconnect, right? That's what you're doing. 100%. You're reconnecting because even you, the therapist who runs this beautiful facility that does all these different practices, you need to reconnect.
100%.
You're a human being like the rest of us. We get anxious. We get,
Yep.
As far as like demographics of type of people that come here, does it stretch across the age range, like from young to old?
Yeah.
Really?
Like ages 5 and up. We'll see.
Really? Okay.
We do family work. We do things with little kids, and all the way up, all through the lifespan.
Do you do any family-oriented stuff? Like,
sure.
Like families come in together?
Absolutely.
Really?
So families can come for any of the practices. So we have families that come for mindfulness and meditation, that come for somatic yoga, that just do a yoga class together, and they want to design something that's specific and unique for them. Forest bathing, certainly we do family therapy and things like that, but absolutely.
So parents watching here, when you tell the kids to put their phones down, then put them in the car and take them.
Yeah, and the thing that's neat about that too, it's sending such an incredible message to the next generation.
Yeah.
Right, that there is a different way.
Yeah.
That these practices can bring a sense of peace and calm, and that we can lean into them, not just when we're anxious or worried or overwhelmed, but all the time. Like, what would happen if you woke up in the morning and instead of rolling over and grabbing your phone, and I do that too. It's not like I'm,
No, we're
right?
human.
We're human. But the days that I don't do that, and the days that I like just lay in bed for a second or open up the shades and the blinds and just like pause and be like, thank goodness I'm here again.
Yeah.
Right? It sets a tone that's so different.
Yeah, it really does. And you tapped onto something before. You said something and kind of went by it, talking about spirituality.
Yeah.
So that's another thing post-COVID that I've
Yes.
noticed. There is a yearning for spirituality,
Correct.
be it, Catholic, Christian, Jewish, whatever it is,
Yeah. All of it.
Buddhism, whatever it
Yep.
is. People are looking for something bigger than them, basically. You're seeing that.
100%.
Yeah.
It's why we're actually starting to launch another division at the center. So there's a
Okay.
few different divisions by us, and it's why we're doing that, because people clearly are yearning to be together,
Mm-hmm.
and also to learn about how other people are experiencing the world. I think that that's really unique too, and it's one of the things that we want to make sure that gets translated when we launch this program, is that we're here to talk about how spirituality, different than religion, right? Because it is
Sure,
different,
it is.
but how spirituality can be a thread in our lives, in all of our lives, and connect all of us regardless of belief systems or thoughts or ideas. Is like there's this commonality
Yeah.
for something bigger than us or something that unites us. And so looking at different kinds of practices and traditions and exposing people to that is super cool.
Yeah, and to go back, I mean, it's crazy, and like again, it's the way these algorithms work on these computers. It has
Yeah.
pinned everybody against each other for so many years now, and thank God for the human spirit, right? Like you see it like just naturally starting to come out now. Like, yeah, I don't want this anymore.
Correct.
I need something else, and that something else is something that was pre-internet, the way we lived, right? And don't get me wrong, people were still stressed and anxious
Always.
and so
Since
forth,
always.
but this. These kind of technology has amplified it to the point where people are like, to the point that they're scared to talk.
Yeah.
They're scared to
Yeah.
say what they believe or
Yeah.
whatever that may be, and it really limits people. And you add all that together, and that's why a place like yours is so important, so needed in the community.
It cuts through all that.
It does.
Like our place literally, some of the things we talk about is that it's a place where people can just come back home to themselves. It's where people can walk through the door and just be. They don't have to be anything.
Yeah.
They just are. And there's, we say it all the time. I am is a big phrase that especially our somatic yoga teacher talks about. This concept is, I am not this and I'm not that and I'm not, I just am.
I am.
I am.
Yeah. And a lot of people get caught up in, the age they are and where they think they should be and what they should be accomplishing. And I've learned through the years, the way I look at things is, whenever things are going sideways or in a bad connection, I just stop, I breathe, and I'm like, this is just a moment in time.
100%.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what and it's hard. Like, and that's why it's so special that what you do, running my own business, you kind of got to get in touch with yourself
100%.
to like, it's different than just a normal that's doing 9 to 5. And, it's so, when I talked about people, what you do and kind of things like that, their eyes are like all over the place. Like you could tell they want it,
Yeah.
but they don't know how to get into
know how to
it.
get it.
Yeah.
Yep,
And that
totally.
was my next question is what is the biggest hurdle for people getting to you? Like, what do you hear out in the community? Like, well, I would, but what is that?
Some people think that these practices are for other people, for sure. Somebody else is the yogi. Someone else practices breath work.
Yeah.
That meditation thing, I can't sit still. I have too many thoughts in my head. Well, that's actually the reason to do it, right?
Yeah.
Someone says, I can't touch my toes, so I can't do yoga. That's the reason to do it.
Yeah.
Or, therapy, no, I'm supposed to work by myself. Or we don't talk about things in my family. Everything's quiet. Keep it behind, lest somebody else know that I'm struggling or that I'm human.
Yeah.
So those kinds of
It's about being vulnerable.
being vulnerable. And there's this person, her name is Brene Brown. She's very well known. And she, in one of her books, says to be human is to be vulnerable. Right? It's not that we do something to be vulnerable or not vulnerable, just by nature of being human.
Yeah.
I could walk outside and, like a bird could fall on my head.
Yeah.
Like I'm vulnerable because
Yeah.
I am and I'm human. And so that's a big thing that we talk about too by us is how can we be with what is? Meditation and mindfulness, our practitioner focuses on this so much in that, how can we just be with what is? Doesn't mean we have to love it.
Yeah.
But it's happening. It is here, and I can either fight against it and be miserable, or I can find practices and ways and people to talk to and connect with
Yeah.
that can help support me with what is. And the truth is, we're all in this together.
Oh yeah. We are. And it goes back to community. We are a community. That's what
100%.
that's what made this country so how we got where we were. It was small communities, all connected with
Always.
each other, all with a common kind of,
Yeah.
compassion and empathy and all of that. That's what we've lost a lot too is
agree.
is empathy and compassion and don't get me wrong, people are good, but to really express it, it's hard for people sometimes.
Yeah.
They're just it's tough and whatever. But
Well, and it's interesting, if I could just interrupt one sec.
Sure.
So when we were in India, there was somebody who we were speaking with, and they ended their talk with saying, "Have a kind day." And
What do you mean?
Exactly. And that resonated with so many of us on this journey is that's what it's about. Not even like have a good day, because sometimes guess what? Parts of my day, they're not so good, right?
Yeah.
But have a kind day.
Kind day, yeah.
And can we start, building that with one another? Can we start connecting around that with one another? Because who doesn't want kindness, and who doesn't want to be treated with kindness, and who doesn't want to offer kindness? And, I think even just in the languaging and the way that we talk to each other, and certainly about ourselves matters. We do a lot of work and talk around that by us.
So do you notice you have a lot of mothers that come through?
Yeah,
You do.
100%.
100%. What is it? And because I have a lot of friends and family, I have kids and children and everything else. And to me, out of all of the different people in their phases of life, single and so forth, the mothers are the ones that always seem that are tweaked.
Yeah.
Right? What are they generally, for mothers watching this, all of this now, what are some of the practices that they can lean into and maybe help get through?
Well, first of all, I'm going to comment on the fact that moms appear, like we're keeping it all together and we're doing it.
That's my point, yeah.
But we're human.
Yeah, sure.
And we're also, same as we were talking about, like as a whole in society, we're doing it alone a lot, right? It's, making sure the kids are this and the family is this and that, everything's put together, and it's exhausting.
It really is.
So exhausting. And, there's a lot of worry and there's concern, right? Concern about themselves, concern about their loved ones, concern about their children. I mean, this angst and this worry and this keeping it up and going is...
Yeah, I see it. That
Yeah.
the mothers are the ones that stick out to me because, they don't appreciate, and that goes for everyone, and for that matter, I have a lot of artists come by that've done lots of great stuff, and they feel I haven't made it yet, and I feel that's what the mother's like. I'm not doing. I'm
Not
always.
doing enough,
I'm
not
yeah.
enough.
It's not enough. It's
It's
not
not
enough.
enoughness.
But it is enough.
Oh my gosh, so much. And the thing is, huge shout out. I mean, I am as well one, but we're not doing it, and we keep using this word because it's everything. We're not doing it in community. We came from tribes, right? We came from, when I was exhausted, I could go to the hut next to me, or the spot next to me, or the house next to me, and say, "Can you help me today?"
Yeah.
And someone would be there, the aunt, the grandmother, the elder in the community, in the tribe. We were here together to teach how to do things. And now, in that sense of isolation, that's made it so much harder. So moms are worrying about their kids. Kids are worrying about themselves. Kids are all about my next step. You mentioned that before. What am I going to be? What am I going to do? Everything about this matters. This math test matters.
Yeah.
Well,
It's the end of the world if I don't do it.
Exactly. It doesn't. Yes, it matters. 100%. But no, it doesn't.
Yeah. Not to the point that you make yourself unhealthy over it.
Correct.
Yeah. That's a step too far.
Too far. So moms are worrying. There's also, and we do a great deal of work around body image, and how you feel in your own skin. And we all see it, right? There is this push to stay young always, as opposed to aging with grace. And there's something so beautiful in that. We're meant to age, right? We're meant to look differently at different times of our lives.
Father Time is undefeated.
Exactly.
He's
exactly
undefeated. He wins every time.
Every time.
Yeah.
And so that angst about trying so desperately to look a certain way or be a certain way, that actually goes against the grain of humanity. That's exhausting.
It is, and it's funny, and that comes back to, it's so funny that the more connected we've gotten, the more disconnected we've become.
100%.
Right? So we've become technically connected,
Yeah.
but spiritually, emotionally, we have just checked out.
Totally.
Out. And that's why your location is fantastic. Tell everyone the name, where you are, how they can get in contact with you, what you do.
Okay. So we're the Center for Mind Body Balance.
Okay.
We're at 96 East Allendale Road in Saddle River. I'll do the commercial plug, 201-708-8448. We're in a quaint little town in this beautiful, beautiful 3-story restored home right in the middle of town. The main floor is all the different offices for the different practitioners and practices. And then upstairs, there's this unbelievable studio that holds the authenticity of the building. The building was designed in like the 1900s. So it really holds the authenticity of that, creaky floors and all. I mean, really beautiful. And then there's also a Pilates studio up there. And then the lower level is our group room. It's a second studio. We do all Girl Scout programming. And we also, I should hugely plug, I rent out the space for really just a nominal amount for people who don't have a home base, for people who are coming out of school and wanting to run a program, or they just graduated from something, or they have a group of people they want to put something together, or they themselves are a community program and they want to use space to have a gathering or what have you. I'm very passionate that the community have a home base as well for their practices, not just what we offer. And there's no places like that. I tease all the time. I should have been a teenager in the 50s. Because I love, like the happy days, and the sitting around at the soda shop and the community center and the sock hops. And like that was people coming together.
Yeah.
And I personally crave that.
Yeah.
And
miss it.
I miss it. And so, hopefully this space is offering that to people. That's my passion.
That's our passion. And authenticity is key. Yeah. In full disclosure, I work with Melanie, right? I do have Social Babies, my social media agency. And we were talking, and that's why she's here now, because she told me, I don't do sales. I can't be a salesperson. I go, well, that's what podcasts are for. Conversation and just talk and tell your story, and and you don't have to pitch anything. And that's a beautiful thing, and I'm so glad that we're working together and that you came on the show. And I look forward to working with you and getting you back on the show again too. And at some point, we'll go on location. Yeah. We'll go in there, and we'll do a piece in your location, and so everybody could see this, because it really is. Like with Big Mouth, you have to come here to experience
100%.
it. You could talk about it until, the cows come home. But, yeah, it's beautiful. And, again, I'm appreciative. So thank you much for coming through. And that's it. It's another episode of Mr. Big Mouth. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.